Section 1 of Selected Poems of Chile. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Selected Poems of Chile. Her Floating Tresses by Ricardo Fernández Montalvo. Read by Newgatenovelist. Her floating tresses, from their braids unloosened, fell in profusion o'er her neck of snow, and from her limpid eyes her flashing glances seemed like a beam of fire to shine and glow. And in her attitude, so grave and lofty, her gaze of love and of confusion sweet, there was the bird's timidity, all guileless, the lion's pride that ne'er hath known defeat. Upon her lips a smile one moment glimmered, then deadly faintness bowed her with its blight. She for one moment was a wind-swayed blossom, then the high peak where lightnings forge their might. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Life by Diego Dublé Urrutia. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Let others seek to pierce thy breast, to read thee, life, and thy intent. I seek not, fear not, with the rest, nor bless thee, nor in aught lament, nor weep thy love, nor scorn confessed, my day the winds have sent. 'Twas once I fancied that the wave some channel fixed, and sure would show. The fountain spring finds nothing save itself in all the fountain's flow. Alas, my tears eternal lave thy false mirage below. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. From The Mines by Diego Dublé Urrutia. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Life in the mines is sorrowful as death, sorrowful and wretched. No man there draws breath, but the poor human beast, sweating and weary, scrapes with all his limbs down by the dreary light of dim torches, as any worm might bore. Men in the mines are simulacra, no more. Nor is it air, that fetid breath that passes over cold work undone, through tunnels of hot gases, drifting heavily, laden with acrid sweat of all the drab toilers among shadows met. Of this human wastage, of this refuse that fashions life as it may under load of the passions and vices of others. For these men not yet has one come to prove there are men and names to set without vain egotism, without utopias, on each one the load of his own anguish, and only of his own. Deep down in the mines this hope never gleams, the star of a new dawn down there never streams, a bright ray in the darkness, cheering the pain of that serf not even aware of his chain. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Table Talk by Manuel Magallanes Maure. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. The little old lady laughs like a little girl, going on with the tale of this and that happy day. Says the little old lady, "Oh, what times were they, when I fell in love without grandmother's knowing." The little old lady is a little rogue, showing a malicious twinkle in the depths of her eyes. How distinct the silver of her hair one descries against the caramel-tinted skin glowing. The little old lady forgets how dull or shady life may be, and the wrinkles laugh over her face. Sweet tremors through her blessed old body race, and my dear looks at me, and I look at my dear, and we laugh, all the while we hear the white history of the loves of the little old lady. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. My Mother by Manuel Magallanes Maure. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. I feel like a small child lost in a scene of gaiety. Where are you, mother mine? Not there, that is not she. Nor this one, mother mine. How can I search? I do not know which you are. Vainly seeking, my tears fast flow. Just like a little child, I weep in misery. Is your cheek dark, O mother, or fair to see? This is not you, nor that. Where are you, mother mine? To lighten my dark soul, your eyes must brightly shine. Your hands must be soft, gentle with tenderness. Your lips must drip honey to sweeten my bitterness. Your kind breast must be oblivion of grief. You must be, O mother, love beyond belief. Your love must be a vivifying breath, and your caresses sweet as sweet death. Are you my mother? To each woman I pray. Some sigh, some laugh, not knowing the thing that I say. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Rendezvous by Manuel Magallanes Maure. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. She will come. She will not come. The passing cloud declares she will. The quiet tree, no longer dumb, beckons. She comes not. Wait her still. She will come. She will not come. The sunlit paths with promise thrill and file away. But waters drum across the lake. No, wait her still. She will come? She will not come. My heart is resolute she will. But hush, these murmurs troublesome. She will not come. Await her still. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. My One Desire by Arturo Torres Rioseco. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. I had only one desire, to own my garden and my bower, what bread and fruit I might require, to read my eclogues by the hour. I had the garden and the bower, my heart would sigh for something more, a fair companion like a flower, to smile and dream I hunted for. I found the fair companion soon, my bread was fresh, my honey sweet. She is the flame that makes my noon, within my breast and brows the heat. My garden and my roses bower, my fair companion, honey, bread. Why, man, but this is life's full dower, and all we know when all is said. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Woman by Carlos Prendes Saldias. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Thy great and wicked mouth was a fountain for my thirst, for cool water was my drouth, woman. In thine eyes the sheen, as of the dying day, never was thy poet seen, woman. My love was altogether thine, today as on the day we met. Why was it you were never mine, so that I might forget, woman? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. My Shadow by Carlos Prendes Saldias. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. I loved thee, there was none that knew, nor I myself could give the answer true. I love thee still beyond all things that be. Why hast thou loved me not as I loved thee? They point the finger at me now in truth. There goes a town-bred youth. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Let Pass the Wind by Carlos Prendes Saldias. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Close up the window, looking down the path. My song surviveth in the gloom apart. The fair companion no desire hath, nor comes today to join us, O my heart. And let the morning spray its sunny bath against the balcony in peaceful art, the while within my anguished breast shall wrath, like prayer transformed to paroxysm, start. Close up the window, looking down the path. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Age by Carlos Pessoa Vélez. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Few my years when hopes were many, dreams were gay, and I sang any. Now my hopes are few, and older griefs pile up, and sighs grow bolder. I have seen but few hopes tarry on the road where the far years carry. Mine, it seems, by age were frighted, for hopes are maids that scorn the white head. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Fecundity by Carlos Pessoa Vélez. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. The solemn bearing of this robust cow, short-horned and grave, and the distinguished air of this one with long horns and that one there, are shadows on the pasturage where now the husband bull is grazing. Mistress land, good day to you, that are so potent and savage tremendously. Raising up high his ample head, the bull looks on the round, virginal flesh of a young cow and shy, whose heavy breath lifts pollen from the ground, whose nostrils, widened, follow in the sky some new enchantment she has dreamed. A cock, despite the graveness of the cattle flock, romps with the chickens, nor will ever tire. Fleet acrobats of lust, the flies give chase to one another, while the turkeys raise luxurious fans of feathery desire, glorious under that sun that sets afire all dreams that mind of beast or man can trace. And in the shade, where girls and peons are, talk is in whispers, glances turn afar. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Hospital, One Afternoon, by Carlos Pessoa-Velez. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Athwart the fields the drops are falling, softly, gently, on the plains, and through the drops a grief is calling. It rains. Alone amid my sick ward spacious, there I my bed of weakness keep. There's naught to fight my grief voracious, but sleep. But mists are gathering around me, with choking hold upon my veins. I wake from out the sleep that bound me. It rains. Then, as if in my final anguish, before the landscape's mighty brink, amid the mists that fall and languish, I think. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Home of Peace and Purity by Luis Felipe Contado. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. In the little room where the day was dying, children bend above their books, their mother at her toil. On the little table within the lamplight lying, there was set a spray of lilies, snowy from the soil. Like a peaceful vase of purity, the dwelling, here there is no touch of life upon its troubled way. So the snowy lilies, fresh and pure, are telling, this is what their subtle perfume to young hearts would say. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Calling by Luis Felipe Contado. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Lord, thou dost know with what implacable hand life cut its wound across my inmost breast. How I was lost amid the worldly band, how I have suffered where its blade was pressed. Lord, thou dost know how from all healing band no cure I found in all the world possessed. How I in gloom would walk, and trembling stand, before thy mystery with doubt confessed. Thy words came then unto mine ear, so sweet, yea, sweeter far than mother's lullaby. Unto the path, O Lord, thou drewst my feet, my wounded wing against thy breast did fly, and there, as in predestined grief's retreat, within thy heart, as in its nest did lie. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The River by Jorge Hubner. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. The music of the river, full of our human weeping, through dark fields in the night time goes wandering like a dream, and says to those who sorrow that to a far deep ocean the woe and anguish of the world are borne upon its stream. Those that are heavy-hearted know it is liquid starlight which the high forest summits into the vale downpour. They stand beside its waters, and let their souls float with them, through new and strange horizons, swift changing evermore. On to fulfill its destiny it journeys, like the Christians. It hides its conflicts in light mists that o'er the surface play, and when the rocks along its course with sharp teeth rend it fiercely, it beautifies the rugged rocks with veils of shining spray. when loneliness that shivers with cold begins to scatter the petals of my wayside flowers as I go journeying on. O thou melodious master of full and perfect union, then tell me how thou blendest two rivers into one. When weary grows my restlessness, then tell me how thou stillest thy rough tempestuous billows with stormy foam agleam, and I will put my days to sleep in a stretch of quiet water, where memory floats as lightly as the roses on the stream. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. To Vasco Nuñez de Balboa by Samuel A. Leo. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. If in the night a herd of savage buffaloes suddenly plunge into a quiet backwater, beating there into ripples the sleeping water with their great bodies, and blot out all the shining reflection of the great moon, trembling and luminous, that lies like a silver flower upon the water, then the once peaceful pool turns ferocious, restless and troubled, leaping and tossing. But when the herd has passed on its way, once more the heavens gently send the moon's shimmering image, unstable as the faint hue announcing a pallid dawn, but at last it shines with the radiant clarity of a diamond glowing from its dark bed. So in this world it may be that ignorant or perverse men may pass, troubling the even current, reflecting the glory and fame of some hero of Mars or Minerva, and then, when no longer the sounds of the caravan are heard in the distance, then in the calm waters of history, like the silver flower from the feet of the herd, there rises, pellucid and bright, the illustrious memory once lost in the stir of the crowd. Thus, across the long years, in this fair land of Columbus, now, free from mistakes and illusions, thou unfortunate captain of Spain, their glory shines, lighting thy valiant face, sent to thy grave by envy, because thou gavest splendor and kingdoms to Spain, and because, conqueror in terrible conflicts, thy sovereign courage drew from the depths of the mysteries of earth a great ocean that doubled the size of the world. His was a spirit audacious, adventurous, given the wings of the condor, the eyes of the kite, a mixture of bully and knight, with a trace of the Spanish hidalgo. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Azure Sky by Juan José Velgas. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. What is the blue of the sky? It cannot be thy mantle, for things corruptible are naught to the Almighty. But when on its calm beauty we rest our tired eyes, there comes the blessed solace of quick tears. At close of day, painted with flaming clouds, the sky is a dread vision of the city of the lost, and at dead of night it broods with such veiled mystery that we must fain prostrate ourselves before it. The calm blue of the morning is a sign of thy omnipotence, for this hast thou created its pure beauty, for this hast thou permitted the arts of man to penetrate its depths, and for this, O God, I crave that some day in my sad and restless life, blue eyes may shine upon me with the love of woman. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Door by Danielle de la Vega. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. My door is always closed and always dark. My old door, crossed and recrossed with bars, is harsh and hostile. Nobody would believe that safe behind it songs and bright raptures glow. Before it sleep, silent, 3 steps of brick that lead from the earth into my solitude. The sun of my innocent days rose up them and knocked at the door with heavenly humbleness. Up to my door one misty and quiet day 2 little hands of a woman came to knock, and the leaves opened with the impetuous haste of a bird opening its wings for sudden flight. Her little feet hurried and tripped up the steps, traversed the threshold with light and gentle tread, and the 2 halves of the door shut themselves dumbly, seeming like eyes that do not wish to look. Then perhaps there was heard a light laugh of joy, and the faint sound of a kiss, then the silence of love, but the old door, obstinate, selfish, concealed even the most shadowy echo within its heart. Slowly I move through life. In the restless depths of each day comes the future to knock, and I say, smiling, "It is too soon. Living and singing have still the same sweetness." But some day death will draw near to my door. He will enter and silently give me his hand, while still the future calls with the call of a brother. "Poets wail for you. This is the final day." And I, as a poet, will cry with my dying breath, "It is too soon. Death, you are still too soon." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Ballad of the Violin by Victor Domingo Silva. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. This youth, suffering, weak, plays the violin in the sun for a drink of rum and a handful of tobacco. And listen, while he ripples a Spanish roundelay or some Slavic song, this youth, suffering, weak, goes out to seek the sun, to fill his shabby sack, to get a drink of rum and a handful of tobacco. Goes out to kill despair when he plays the violin, comes out to seek the sun as a snail creeps from its shell. This weak and suffering boy died playing the violin. What of it? He came to his end with a drink of rum and a handful of tobacco. They found him in the sun, clasping his violin. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Return by Victor Domingo Silva. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. I have come back to the old home, therein to weep my childhood gone, my father laid in death. Days, months, and years have passed upon their way, and all the house in ruin lies, from roof to cellar. Oh, what bitter change o'er all! How everything I knew has met decay. I come again in weeping for the hours, bright shining mornings, evenings filled with dreams, and slumbrous afternoons I once have known, where he who has returned to us so changed, with rounded shoulders and his hair like snow, seems now so different from his young days flown. awaiting ever, ever his return. We are not quite surprised. We feel his kiss upon our foreheads as in days of old. My mother sighs, the grave domestics gaze with reverent mien, and the old dog begins his barking as if back the years had rolled. How long the voyage, Saviour? Oh, how long! And in my years away, how many drouths, how many mountain glooms and fogs of dread. A silence falls. It seems each other reads sorrows in each, and weariness in some, and worlds of dream and grief o'er every head. How long the voyage, Saviour? Oh, how long! Here by the frigid hearthstone of my home, with all surrounding me, I bid them tell, if I look older. They reply to me, yes, Father dear, we find you very changed. And I, poor children, you are changed as well. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. To Modern Poets by Ernesto Montenegro. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Truce to the hunt of gold, O brothers strong and bold. Life hath a beauty far beyond this traffic jar. In vain trade's towers on high blacken against the sky. The wind, a wild thing, blows, and bluer, purer now the heaven shows. From factory, wharf, and wall some pallid flower may crawl. Take it, and from your soul put off the childish role. And, though across a grill, let sun your ruins fill. Fear not, your little song can stay machines not long from their gigantic beat. The meadowlark with fleet sweep to heaven from the soil, a shaft of song is for the son of toil. Ye heralds of the suns, and swallow myrmidons, lend courage to me now, this hour of solemn vow, that here amid our rude metropolis may brood for ever fruit of song, that artists, poets, long their refuge here may find, comfort and peace of mind. That here all work, all thought, all song to harvest brought, may see the grim tower to a blossom wrought. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. And end of Selected Poems of Chile. Thank you for listening.